Hello, everyone. My name is Trevor Ray Zimmerman, and this is part 3 of a series of presentations on how our economy can move toward a more equitable income distribution. After viewing this presentation, you'll be able to identify the 4 types of market structures, understand the profit maximization principle, relate each market structure to a real-life example, describe its key features, identify graphs for each market structure, and articulate how each relates to equity and efficiency. Having a basic understanding of market structures is useful in examining the effect of policy and discussing future possibilities for establishing a more equitable income. Market structures can be divided into 4 groups, that is, pure competition, monopolistic competition, oligopolies, and monopolies. Before we take a dive into each one of those market structures, I need to highlight that all 4 structures follow the profit maximization rule. This is where they produce at a level where marginal cost of making one more unit of output is equal to the marginal revenue generated by making one more unit of output. Stated another way, all market structures will always try to balance their implicit and explicit costs when deciding how much they will produce, ensuring that the cost for production does not exceed the revenue generated by production. Purely competitive markets can be represented by a farm market. They're easy to set up and easy to take down, and usually they sell a standardized product, like these oranges pictured here. With there being so many farm stands that sell oranges, the price oranges are sold for is dictated by the consumer. Therefore, the firm is a price taker. The following graph illustrates market behavior for an individual perfectly competitive firm. The green line represents the demand curve, which is perfectly elastic. This means it is sensitive to infinitely small changes in price, and also why the line is a horizontal, flat line. It illustrates the idea that the individual firm is a price taker. It is because there are so many firms in the market that the effect that one individual firm would have on the market price would be inconsequential compared to that of all other firms present in the market. Because of this unique situation in perfectly competitive markets, the demand line is equivalent to price, the average revenue, and the marginal revenue. Using the profit maximization rule, one can see that the marginal revenue and marginal cost lines meet at the minimum point of the average total cost line. The triple equality of price, marginal cost, and minimum average total cost represents a market that is both efficient and equitable. The market is efficient because it produces the most quantity of goods at the lowest possible price. The market is equitable because all costs are beneath the average total cost curve. The average revenue generated by the firm is exactly equal to the minimum average total cost. Consumer surplus is maximized, the firm makes a normal profit, and the productive resources employed earn the compensation they deserve. Perfect competition is the ideal for all markets to strive toward, but it is seldom seen or achieved. Monopolistic competition is similar to pure competition, in that there are many firms and it is easy to get a business up and running. However, society pays a higher price for the brand identity and differentiation of goods and services produced by a monopolistically competitive firm, like these Nike shoes. The following graph illustrates the market behavior of a monopolistic competitive firm in the long run. One can see that where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, the demand curve is still below the long-run average total cost curve, but it is not at its minimum point. In this regard, the market is equitable because all costs are still beneath the average total cost curve, but it is inefficient because it does not meet the average total cost curve at its minimum point. What this translates into is that production is not at a maximum, and society pays a higher price for goods and services than if the market were perfectly competitive. The behavior of monopolistic competitive markets brings out an interesting point. Equity conditions must be met before a market can hope to approach efficiency. I would like to highlight that monopolistic competition has some short-term control of price through marketing. Marketing causes a demand curve for an individual firm to steepen or become more inelastic, so consumers are not as sensitive to changes in price. Think of the last time you saw an ad for a product that hyped up its brand. The effect of this marketing bumps the demand curve above the average total cost curve as seen in this graph and results in an economic profit. Equity is still not violated so long as this behavior remains a short-run phenomenon. Oligopoly and monopoly market structures share similarities in their large economies of scale and market power of being price makers. An oligopoly is made up of a few firms with high barriers to market entry and exit, like this automotive manufacturer pictured below. With a monopoly, the market is one firm, and one firm is the market. Other firms that wish to enter the market are prevented from doing so in monopolies because of its exclusive ownership of rights and resources to make non-substitutable goods and services. We'll get into an example of a monopoly a little bit later. An oligopoly practices some marketing and product differentiation, but due to the limited number of firms in the market, each firm can engage in collusion with one another in supply limitation and price fixing. Oligopolies and monopolies violate both the efficiency and equity condition. At the profit maximizing point, prices are well above the average total cost curve, consumer surplus is minimized, and firms make an economic profit above their opportunity cost level of compensation. An economic profit becomes a long-run result. In the worst case, an out-of-control monopoly can charge the maximum price the market can bear, over and above the profit maximizing point. With all the negative economic effects of monopolies and oligopolies, the question comes up as to why society allows them to exist at all. Well, in the case of a natural monopoly, it makes sense to have only one producer of a good or service. Examples of natural monopolies include utility companies for natural gas, electricity, water, and sewer. Such natural monopolies are closely regulated and controlled by state governments. They can be coerced into operating equitably, where the average revenue and average cost curves meet. But this can result in the natural monopoly operating at a loss of efficiency. There is simply no situation in which both efficiency and equity can be met for a natural monopoly. Choosing one sacrifices the other. Thank you for your attention. This concludes part 3 of our presentation. Next time, we'll discuss 2 solutions for equitable income distribution and why they failed.